person who loves to learn new skills because I think it not only help us to learn new skills but also help us to gain more knowledge about different things. Here I have decided to talk about a language that I learned. I remember last year due to COVID-19, I was free at my home. So at that time, I decided to learn something creative because I have planned to go abroad for my higher education. So at that time, I started to learn more about English language because I think English language is very necessary for every person to have, specifically for those who want to go abroad. At that time, I download so many videos on from YouTube as well as from Netflix. But at the initial stage, I faced a lot of problems because I was not good at listening. So at that time, I started to write subtitles of movies on my notebook. At the initial stage, it took a lot of time to learn English language for me. But after 2 months, I started to speak English fluently, and still now I am using English language and try to learn everyday new word of English. So that was a language that I learned, but in the initial it was difficult for me. But now I think I can speak fluently and very good.
All right, dear. Thank you so much. There is also a question when it comes to the cue card. Who helped you with it? So, did you seek someone's help in this direction of or in the process of learning, dear?
Yes, actually, at that time, one of my cousins lived in Canada, so he suggested me to see the videos as well as sometimes he took my speaking so that I can fluent in the English language. So I think the biggest reason for the fluence of my cousin because he helped me a lot by learning English language.
Okay. And how do you feel now? After spending a lot of time in this learning process. So, do you feel confident when you're actually speaking or using this language?
Definitely, now I am feeling very happy by speaking English because I meet everyday new persons who speak English language when I am going to my work because I am pursuing a cooking course and I am teaching there for about the cooking skills. So when I speak in English, I feel more confident as well as I think this is the reason that in today's time I am more motivated towards learning new skills because now I get confidence that if a person starts to do practice and hard work he may get anything in his life. So I believe in hard working, and in the future I will definitely hard work to learn any other foreign language such as French and Spanish.
All right, dear. Thank you so much because those two questions remained unanswered, and that's the reason I thought I'll check with you. Okay, when it comes to speaking, so we will, give a little insight when it comes to preposition like in, on, what scenarios we are going to be using this. Let's just have an insight on that. And apart from that, you have been using good words. Your pronunciation has, got better. However, we will try and use standardized words here. Like when I asked you, how do you feel? Instead of the word happy, you could be using something better, like I'm really excited about it. It's an amazing experience. It is pleasant, something like that to suffice with. So that is going to fetch more marks here. These common words will not lead us, or would not better the score. That's the reason, dear. So all the very best.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, dear. Rani, if we could, start speaking, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear.
Yes. The learning a new language allowed to us to know about the different culture and the communicate with the different people Here I would like to tell you about a language when I learned the 3 years ago while I was in Muscat. There was of my neighbor. She is from Sudan. She didn't know the any language rather than the Arabic, and their children and my children's were the equal age, so we need to talk. She was my next door neighbor, and so I decided to learn Arabic. So I downloaded the app, the Duolingo. So I started learning from that app, and the because of that app, I communicate with my my neighbor and understand a few words of the Arabic. And I am thankful of this app, and I felt like I am I felt like a dog with a two tail. I was very happy.
All right. Is it all, dear?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So when it comes to the speaking, you could have continued, when did you actually start to learn? If you could be specific in terms of time duration, you could start with, how long did you take to learn? Now, whenever we are speaking and writing, when it comes to IELTS, let's avoid these abbreviated forms here, like apps. We are going to be using the complete or the expanded form, that is applications. Instead, next thing is you have used an idiom, which is a good thing. And we will talk about, see, the plural form of the word child is singular, children is plural already. So we will not use the word children's until and unless there is, a possession or ownership, like children's lunch bags, children's classroom. So until there is, a noun followed by it, we will not use the word children's. We will just use the word children, irrespective of the number. Anything more than 2, whatever, n number for that matter. Okay, when we use the language, talking about, article THE was actually not required there. So we will, probably throw light on that there. So thank you. Let's concentrate and work towards the same.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
My mother relocated to South Africa. That was in 2017. After a year, she invited me to come to South Africa, but she emphasized that I should learn Zulu language before I travel to South Africa. So I tried to teach myself the Zulu language since I was a fan of soapies that are played on the television, which are spoken, though they use the Zulu language on those soapies. So I tried to learn the basic language, the greeting language, until I found a friend who knew how to speak the Zulu language. So my friend, she helped me with the language. So after a month, I had the knowledge of the greeting language. I did well in the lessons with my friend, and I felt confident when I was greeting the Zulu people when I got to South Africa. I think that's all. This is my first speaking test.
All right,
Thank
dear.
you.
I appreciate. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time and initiative taken to speak. All right. So you were going good. Probably you fell short of content. So initially, whenever we start speaking, especially when it comes to Cue Card, we would request you to add some additional information. Give us an introduction. Like, learning any language could be a hard nut to crack. However, we are trying to do so. It would take, it again depends on grasping speed, somebody's level of intelligence, time availability. So considering all of it, so like that, you will give us, some information first, and then you could get into the actual one so that you have ample amount of content to speak on there.
Okay. Thank you.
Because, all right, dear. All the best.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, good evening, ma'am. Today I would like to talk about the time that I learned to talk a new language. That was in 2018 when I was deployed in Matabeleland South to work as a registered general nurse. On that environment, almost everyone was a Ndebele speaking person. Then I had to learn and I had to force myself so that I can know how to speak with the patients in the ward, and as well with all the members of the community. It was really a difficult task for me to learn that Ndebele. It was so challenging that I couldn't even make it on that time. But as of now, I really pushed myself to learn some of the concepts, the grasp some of the language that they usually use on day-to-day basis. I had a friend who was really patient enough to teach me how to speak Ndebele, and he started by telling me how to greet the patient, how to ask about the name of the patient, and also how to give youth education using the Ndebele language. And I was really grateful because right now I'm now a fluent speaking Ndebele without a doubt.
All right, dear. Thank you.
Okay,
So you
ma'am.
had a good amount of content here to speak on. You were going really good. You were talking about, how difficult was it, challenging in sequence, how it really helped to better yourself in terms of your profession too. So we would look out for some connectors, dear, when you talk about, all of this. When you have ideas, please use conjunctions as well. Now, words like even a simple but. Now, when it comes to IELTS speaking, especially the cue card, we have been learning what is that we need to be doing. We know, okay, you are supposed to be having connectors, conjunctions, good amount of content, so have good lexical resource, okay, have these many, variety of varied sentence structures too. See, when we talk about variety of sentence structure, I don't know if we have thrown light on this before, but it is important that you use different form or different types of sentences. First thing is, when you talk about any changes that takes place over a period of time, you could be using the present perfect tense. Perfect continuous tense. Now we have been using the sentence structure subconsciously. Like when I say, I have been learning this language or whatever language you have, you can, start this. I've been learning this language for 4 months now. This is the sentence structure. Let us try and use this sentence structure holds good when it comes to your essay writing as well. Even when it comes to academic writing part 1, please use the same. Let me give you an example. Like when you're talking about a specific diagram, you could be talking about how the sales of a particular product has increased drastically. We use that, right? This is present perfect, has increased drastically. When it comes to essay as well, I could be talking about how the contemporary world has changed and it is a better place to live for people. So please use the sentence structure when it comes to the introduction paragraph. That is your essay writing, your academic as well, and in your speaking too. Next thing, when I talk about don'ts of speaking, let us try and not use the abbreviations. That is, abbreviations are nothing but the short forms. Like when I say apps, that is not apps. We will start using the complete word in the expanded form, that is application. And I will not say, I've been using this social site called as FB. No, Never do these mistakes. It is going to bring your scores down. Please have expanded forms. Okay, let's say there is this question all about virus. They're going to ask you as to, how is the virus situation in your country? So what are the measures that the government of your own country has taken to curb the same? So when you have such a question, when you're talking about something, let's say you say there is a report in an article that is published from the World Health Organization, you are going to be using the expanded form of it. These are called as acronyms. Let us understand, never use abbreviated form of any word. First thing, let us not use acronyms even. These will, attract penalty. Please do not. And let's, probably there is, some websites as well which says you can be using contracted form. You remember contractions that we have discussed, like gonna, wanna. Try and avoid that. We will have expanded form of words again. Wanted to do this, I really wanted to do that. Please be specific when you are trying to explain. Next thing is, though it is, a minor detail, when it comes to plural words, let's have a better idea. All you need to do is just go to Google, type in singular, plural. You will have so many links which is going to give you even the spelling rule, for that matter, how to exactly spell that particular word. Now when I have, the usual words, probably when I say, church. Now, what is the rule? Do I have to add S or ES? Including that, you will have an explanation. CH, if the word ends with CH, you will have to use the word ES, plural. Now, just like that, we have something called as irregular plurals or irregular words, where I'm not going to add S or ES to change the form. Instead, like when I say child, I'm going to be using the word children. When I talk about just one, I'm going to be saying person and then people. Irrespective of the number, please use this form only. I have like 10 different children, 60 different children in my class. I'm a teacher somewhere. I still say I have, these many children in my class. Do not use the word children's. Now, what are the scenarios I could be using these apostrophe S with when I talk about ownership? That is, children's school bags are kept in the corridor as they have their exams, which is on at the moment. So you're going to be using a possession, a noun after you use an apostrophe, which is very important to know. Otherwise, let's not use it. Okay. Another thing that I noticed is, it is very easy, let me tell you. Now that you have an access, everyone have an access to internet for that matter. Oh yes, there is another thing. When I use this word everyone, what is the right form of a verb? Can anyone answer this question? Do I say everyone have or everyone has an access to internet?
Everyone has.
Has.
Why everyone has, dear?
Because there are more than
Everyone
one.
no, everyone is taken
Hmm.
as singular.
What may I understand from it is when you say everyone, you're talking about not just a particular person, like there are more than one. So it's plural. So it goes with
Okay,
has. Yes.
correct. See, when I have this subject which says everyone, okay, let me type in another one as well. We have someone, we are going to be considering that as a singular subject there. That is what the grammar in, English says. You're going to consider that as a singular subject, and then the rest of the verb follows accordingly. So I will not say everyone have. I'm going to be typing in everyone has an access to internet in the recent years. So it's easier for us to learn. Let me repeat, we are going to be considering these words to be singular, and we're going to decide the verb form based on the same. When I use I, you, we, they, we are going to be using the verb have. I, you, we, they, have. I mean, these are nothing but, subject pronouns rather. Just stop me if at all there is something that you people do not understand, or if at all you feel there is a need for me to explain something. What is this pronoun? We all know that it's a word which is used instead of a noun, or which replaces. Now I have a story about, a particular student, John. I don't have to be talking about or using the word John every time in the story. I'm going to be using the word he instead.